Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into the video on this 2020 Ford Edge Titanium. Titanium is one of the top trim levels for the Edge, only below the Sport, or actually in 2020 the ST trim. However, one thing I want to get pointed out before we start the video is that even within the Titanium trim there are significant differences between the trim levels. This particular Edge is going to have heated, cooled seats, navigation, full panoramic roof, and the entire Ford Copilot 360 system that includes the auto park, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitors, and forward collision assist. The reason I say all that is because many Edges do not have those packages. So even within the Titanium trim, you could notice a few $1,000 difference between us and a competitor simply based on the equipment. This one's going to have pretty much every option you can hang. And like I said, there are Titaniums out there that don't even have navigation, that don't have a sunroof. And there are lots of Titaniums out there that don't have the Copilot 360 system. So keep that in mind as you're looking at other Titaniums. All that said, starting off here in the front, that really aggressive grille style, and of course the high-intensity headlamps either side, as well as your fog lights down low. In addition to that, you can also see where your forward camera is mounted, right here underneath the Ford emblem, as well as your sensor array laid out across the front of the bumper. The camera system and the sensor array, of course, are going to help you either navigate yourself into the parking spot, or that's actually what the Ford Copilot auto park system uses to park itself as well. Super cool system. Fortunately, we won't get to demonstrate in this video because there's not a parking spot inside this room, but can definitely try it out in the real world a little bit. So you got a Hankook tire there wrapped around an 18-inch alloy rim. Continuing back to the side, you got a body-colored mirror cap, turn signal integrated into the outside of that mirror cap. Coming into the inside, like I said, you can see your blind spot monitoring system. That is right there. If there's a car in your blind spot, that will light up orange for you. All the door handles are going to have these four little marks on them. It's part of the proximity unlock system. If you have the key in your pocket, you put your finger on that, it will unlock the door for you. It is worth noting while we're walking back, this car is the magnetic metallic color. There's a couple other colors that look close to this. But this is more the gray. The only other option would be a stone gray, which is actually more like a brown, really. So this is going to be your darker gray color. Matching proximity sensors in the front bumper. You have 5 across the rear here. You can also see your Edge EcoBoost all-wheel drive and titanium badging back here. In addition to that, you can see where your backup camera is mounted right here underneath the Ford emblem. One of the major improvements Ford made in the 2019 model year was changing. So you got your large taillight here, and then the taillight here. And in the old Edges, they used to have a bar that ran the entire way across, which looked really cool. But the issue that it had was because it was so large, it had a hard time keeping the seal across the whole thing, so those would fill up with water. So what Ford did instead was change that to a gloss black insert back here. Still has a good look to it, but it alleviates the water problem. And then having to replace what was a $700 light bar in the Edges prior to 2019. Continuing up this side, take a quick look in the back seat. This is, of course, the midsize SUV offering, so it's going to be a little larger than a Ford Escape, but smaller than a Ford Explorer, and it does not have the third row that the Explorer does. So let's jump in the back seat here. The front seats are actually pretty far back at the moment, but I have plenty of space back here. I'm about 5'10". And I would definitely be comfortable riding back here, and I think you could get another person comfortably. The middle seat is actually not as small as you would expect it to be, but obviously that person in the middle is never going to be quite as comfortable until you get into a full-size SUV. It is worth noting that one of the other extra features you're going to find on this Edge over the other ones is heated rear seats. Those controls are right there. In addition to that, you do have a 12-volt power supply and 110-volt power supply standard. Of course, that doesn't want to come up. There it is. Right there. So you can charge all your portable electronic devices from those ports right there. It's a cool spot to look up and look at the panoramic sunroof back here. Of course, that front pane is the only piece that moves. The back piece of the glass is fixed in place. However, still, it's just, I don't know. These Ford was kind of the one that led the way with these panoramic sunroofs, and they definitely look awesome. Before we get into the front, of course, you're going to have your 5-digit combination keyless unlock here, matching proximity unlock, and then if you see this, there's a little emblem right here. It says unlock, and you might wonder what that is. Well, if the car or the fob happens to be dead, there's a little slot down here right there, that you actually just stick your key insert into and pop this off, and then there's a physical keyhole behind there. In practice, you shouldn't have to do that. The car will alert you well in advance of the fob ever being dead. It'll tell you probably 2 to 3 months in advance of the fob being dead that you need to replace your battery. Practical battery life right around 2 years in those fobs. So as long as you pay attention, you'll never be in that situation. But if you are, good to know how to get into the vehicle if the fob is dead. Alrighty, starting on the door here with the other premium features you get in the Titanium. You do have the standard Bang & Olufsen audio system there. You can see that emblem right there. Of course, you do have memory seats and mirrors. You can program up to 3 different driver profiles into those. And then your power windows and locks down here. Excuse me, power windows and mirrors. Over here, of course, pretty standard stuff here. Light controls, fog lights, instrument cluster brightness. You can also see you do a full power tilt. Tele and tilt wheel here. Full power driver's seat, 10-way adjustable with 2-way lumbar support. Jumping on the inside, let's jump in and fire it up. This seat, actually, when I was back there and I was talking about legroom, this seat is way back. So I want to ignore my statement on legroom. There's actually going to be a good bit more, although I do like to drive pretty close to the wheel. Alrighty, so with both key fobs in the car here, you actually don't need, we do sell them all with 2 keys. It's about $150 to $200 value per key, so you have your unlock, lock, remote start, hatch, and of course the panic button. That insert I was talking about, if you push down on, it's on the front side, there it is. If you push down on this button right here, this pops out. Going to give you that key insert that allows you to get into the car if the vehicle, or excuse me, if the fob or the vehicle are dead. With your foot on the brake and the fob's in the car, push button start there. It's going to start up. It has just over 28,000 miles on it, so you have about 8,000 miles of factory bumper-to-bumper warranty left, and a significant amount of the 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty left on the vehicle. Some of those driver assistance features I was talking about are going to become immediately apparent on the wheel. You're going to have your adaptive cruise control adjustment as well as your lane keep assist here. You also, excuse me, yeah, that's adaptive cruise, and then I'm not actually familiar with that one. That one might be new for 2020. Slight difference from what the way the 19s looked. So this is your adjustment for your adaptive cruise control. That one I might have to do a little research on. But then your lane departure is over here. Apologize for that. Like I said, it's slightly different from the 19 model. I've not been in a 20 yet. Your controls for that information screen are going to be on this side of the wheel. Controls for the right-hand side are going to be on the right-hand side of the wheel. Coming into that center stack, of course, the navigation system that I talked about. In addition to that, you have AM/FM radio, Sirius XM radio. You can also Bluetooth audio from your phone to the vehicle, or use some of the ports in the compartments below. You do have your heated steering wheel controls are here. You also have dual zone automatic climate control for both the driver and the passenger, and you can activate your cameras manually from this button. So there's your front camera looking forward. There is a wide angle front camera that allows you to see not only the forward shot that I just showed you, but also the shots to each side. And then of course, if you want to see your backup camera, you throw the car in reverse and it'll show you that. It is worth noting while we're here, you can see those sensor arrays right there. So let's just try that out real quick. It'll actually show you how close you're getting everywhere, which is pretty cool. In addition to that, you can see where you are even on the sides. Clearly, obviously, since the car does have the automatic park, it does have a full sensor array the whole way around. Most of the time, the computer is going to be the one using that sensor array, but you can also manually activate those camera views and things like that to use it yourself as well. It is a turn knob transmission. Down here, you're going to have the button to turn off your auto start stop. You also have your auto park button. You can both parallel and I don't know what you want to call the other one, perpendicular, I guess, park. Looking in the glove compartment, you're going to find the results of the multi-point inspection. So while it was in our shop, we did replace the cabin air filter. We also replaced the oil and a new engine air filter. The tires are 7/32 all the way around, so that's about 3 times the PA state minimum. The brakes are 12 bonded in the front and 11 bonded in the rear, so probably a little more than 5 times the PA state minimum. So lots of life left in all those wearable parts. The last part of the video here before we get out is going to be the CarFax. No accidents or damage. It is a CarFax one-owner vehicle, last owned in the state of Pennsylvania, registered as a rental vehicle, which is pretty common. If you see these low mileage or mid mileage Ford Edges around, the vast majority of them are going to be off a rental fleet. The biggest concern a lot of people have with rental vehicles is, are they all marked up? So the last part of the video, we're going to go around, try to show you any dents, dings, or imperfections that I see. Really didn't see a whole lot to point out when I was going around the first time, but I'll do my best to give it a second look. So we do have one chip right there, another little chip right there. There's just a few little chips up here. Nothing. Continuing back this side, that wheel looks to be in good condition, not all curbed up or anything like that. I don't really see any dents or dings to point out coming back through here. Wheel also in good condition. A little bit of marking on this applique. Back here, pretty typical marks on a rental are typically little scratches that are down through here from people taking things in and out of the trunk area. And I only see like one. You only see one of those. Continuing up this side of the vehicle, again, really nothing to point out. A couple little things on that applique as well. Overall, super clean car. Obviously, this is the Titanium with all the features you can get, including that full Copilot 360, the panoramic sunroof, pretty much anything you could want from a safety or comfort perspective, this car has it. If you'd like to stop out and take it for a drive, you can see us at 21518 Great Cove Road in McCallsburg, Pennsylvania. Visit us online at allthingsautomotive.com or give us a call, 717-485-4224. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope you found it to be informative.